be no one better. Texas crown on my head forever. Raise the lights, hear the crowd get loud. I'm the boss of the ring, I'm running this town.
Well, hello, gang, and welcome to another edition of the Logan Pettis Show. We call it the Logan Pettis Show because I'm Logan Pettis. It's my show. A couple of things that I want to get into, whether or not you want to call these podcast topics or not, but really, what is a podcast and what is a podcast topic? I would say it's really up to host discretion, and if you're watching the show, you love my discretion, I would think, or you just like to hear a guy with ADD just prattle on. But one of the things I wanted to get into, as you can see the hat, I want to get into RCW Honors. RCW Honors is going to take place on Sunday, September the 14th, and it's going to be kind of a half and half show. We're going to honor the legacy of RCW, some of the past and the present. This is what it's like when worlds collide, folks, and we're going to have the ceremony and the matches. I'm going to run down some of the matches right now. Callie Antita, the reigning campeona of the women's division, has been serving every challenger a plate full of pain, extra spicy. But now, one of the most respected and dangerous names on the indie scene, Ray Lynn, is Callie Antita's hungry challenger. This isn't just a title defense, it's a battle to see who can stand the heat. And then, of course, we have two of Texas' fastest rising stars. Epidemius Jr. takes on Jesse Funaki. This will be friendly but highly competitive. Most matches contain an element of hate and vengeance. This one, however, is completely about who is better. Fans will be split, the action will be electric, and only one can walk out with the win. And then Bulletproof Alex Arsenal. No cake, no candles. His birthday was just August the 14th. There's going to be a massive challenge come September the 14th, which is 1 month removed from his birthday. As he puts the gold, he puts this very belt right here behind my head on the line against the powerhouse, Jacob Toa. Will it be a celebration? Or will it be devastation for the Bulletproof Alex Arsenal? And then we have the Phoenix Championship on the line. Emi Camacho will have dominated for 694 days. Quite an impressive run. Almost as impressive as, again, I point to the International Championship, the 3-year run of adorable Anthony Andrews under, of course, my management. Not to say that he necessarily needed me, but hey, there's a reason why I'm manager of the year for like ever, and I'm the greatest. But 694 days is how long Emi Camacho will have dominated as RCW Phoenix champion when September the 14th hits. And then the blonde bombshell Shay Carmichael isn't coming to admire the range, he's coming to wreck it. She's gonna wreck it! Camacho's run has been legendary, but legends eventually fall at some time. All good things must come to an end, folks. Will they come to an end on September the 14th? But that's not all. We have Armani Sage. Well, this match is the one that got flipped. We'll get to that here in a second. Brock Ali is going to be in action. My man Brock. He's 17, already making noise, just like another 17-year-old sensation, I do recall, Roxanne Perez, for anybody that watches NXT. But 17, already making noise. Vin Parker has been trained by Dustin Rhodes, the son of a plumber. Dustin Rhodes, some of you may know him as Dustin Rhodes, some of you may know him as The Natural, some of you may know him as Gold Dust, but Dustin Rhodes is a legend. Anyway, this Vin Parker, been trained by Dustin, kicking the door down and is ready for his RCW debut. 2 hungry contenders, 1 spotlight. Who's stealing the show? We'll find out at RCW Honors. And then, of course, you have recently proudly announced Raina Pink, the women's general manager, proudly announcing that RCW has women's tag team championships. That's right, for the women's tag team division, and on September the 14th, we'll see a rematch. If you recall the show at the Von Erich Ranch, these two had, it won't be the same. It'll almost be a rematch. Sorry, I misspoke. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just excited about the action, folks. So on September the 14th, we'll see kind of a rematch. If you remember, Ridley Thorne teamed with Denise Day to take on Fire and Fury, which is Nova Phoenix, and Morgan Mercy, 2 very intimidating, very scary individuals, if you ask me. But unfortunately, Ridley Thorne underwent a procedure and will not be available. So who will be Denise Day's tag team partner? We'll have to pitch it over to Raina Pink, my counterpart, the women's general manager, and find out who will be in this deal, but it will be for the brand new RCW, that's River City Wrestling Women's Tag Team Championships. I'm excited to see this. Again, the date will be September the 14th at RCW Honors. And then let's not forget about the ceremony. The class of 2025 going into the RCW Honors, of course, Lance Hoyt, New Style Ben Galvan, Felicia Extreme, Josh Long, and the Fan Appreciation Award will go to longtime RCW fan Mr. Steve James on September the 14th from the Good Shepherd Lutheran Activity Center. And then, who can forget about the RCW Heavyweight Champion? There you see the belt right behind me. RCW Champion Cocky Chris Marvel. He doesn't even know who he's going to face, but he's going to be there, and he's ready for anyone. Find out who it's going to be live on Title Match Network, or you can get your tickets right now at rcw.ticketspice.com/RCW-honors-2025. Or you can check out the link at RCW River City Wrestling on Facebook or on X. Any of our social medias, check that out. You're not going to want to miss this show. And then, as I was telling you about, a couple of matches got flipped, and we will tell you about that right now. Armani Sage at the center of all of this. You know something about this Armani Sage guy? I kind of like his style. I don't know where exactly he and Hit kind of, fit into this thing and exactly what is going on, but he's this cocky young thing, and it's very interesting to see. But yes, Armani Sage at the center of all. He must have won the lottery recently, because not only does he have Hit as his hired muscle, but now he's added the powerhouse Jimmy House into the mix. And together, they're gunning for the RCW tag champs, Ross and Marshall Von Erich. Of course, the masters of the claw. Is this the duo that will finally take the gold from the Von Erichs? And if that's not enough, Sage is also gunning for a singles win over Chaos Galvan on September the 14th. So it will be Jimmy House versus Hit. And if you watched the RCW show from the Von Erich Ranch, these two brought the house down, no pun intended. But they did a phenomenal job of just coming at each other. And then Armani Sage got involved, and we're all kind of left scratching our heads seeing where this will go. But now those two powerhouses are going to team up against Ross and Marshall Von Erich. Will they fall victim to the claw? Or, folks, I mean, these two are big hosses. The meat market's open, folks. Let's see what's going to happen. And then Armani Sage, of course, taking on Chaos Galvan now, taken out of the tag team match. And, of course, we will find out from Raina Pink, hopefully soon, who will be Ridley's the one that's out, who will be Denise Day's tag team partner for the RCW Women's Tag Team Championships. And or will it be a completely different team altogether? We will have to see. But that's up to Raina Pink and the folks inside the RCW offices to decide. Not my division, folks. I've learned my lesson there. Sponsorship packages are available. Of course, the title, the commercial, and the announcer, and you can find out about those on RCW's social pages. But sponsorship packages are available with perks like commercials during the live stream and the event, poster placement, program ads, social media mentions, personalized thank you videos from RCW stars, etc., etc. As a former sponsor myself through Uncle Wiggley's Wieners, I can say that it is supremely beneficial, and it's also a really cool thing to get to show on. So check out sponsorships. I believe they're still available. Seats still available. You can go to that link that I mentioned earlier. Again, that's rcw.ticketspice.com. And this event, actually, if you want to type in the /RCW-honors-25 for your tickets to this event, this is going to be one that you're not going to miss. This card is fully stacked. It's going to be, as good old JR once said, a barn burner, ladies and gentlemen, from the Good Shepherd Lutheran Activity Center on Goliad there in San Antonio, Texas. And so there you go. Huge shout out off the top of the program to Zactionary. I'm going to try and have it as the theme song for this show. I'm getting ready to go to Canada, if you can't tell. And so if I can get that theme song squeezed in here, we're going to definitely try to do that. But Zactionary did a fantastic job of writing a song for me called The Boss of the Ring. And it is super catchy, and I love every minute of it. It's a song that I own, and it's got a very handsome picture of me on the cover of the thing. Go check it out on Spotify, check it out on YouTube. I will post links anywhere that I can. So, there you go. That's the RCW Honors Rundown. Now, one of the things, if anybody has ever talked to me that is near and dear to my heart, is performance spaces and theaters. I love theaters. I love churches. I love sanctuaries. And there is a theater. Actually, I was there just last night, and it wasn't an older film, but it was Captain America, the First Avenger. A week before, I went and saw the Blues Brothers. The week before that, they played Laura from, I think this is 1948, maybe 19. I don't know. I have to look at it. Old Vincent Price movie. And anyway, it is in a small town called Flatonia, Texas. And folks, I love what they're doing out there. They are showing old films. They also have it open, I believe, as a performance theater space. I'm sure if you wanted to have your band come and play out there, Miss Terry would be down for that as well. They do birthday parties and stuff. And the fact that this old theater is still here and hasn't, seen a wrecking ball or hasn't fallen into disrepair and somebody's actually taking care of it is phenomenal to me. And I want you folks to go out and support this. Check it out on Facebook. It's the Lyric Theater Flatonia. Started out life in 1879 as the Foster Buildings. Live production and silent movies were brought to town and presented in the Aerodome just down the street in what is now an empty lot. The Foster Building started out in 1913 as the Happy Hour Theater. Actually, it's really cool. If you look, they have preserved the Happy Hour Theater sign on the side of the building. But the Happy Hour Theater, I think they would show the shows on the side of the building. And when the weather got bad, they'd bring all the productions inside. It was still known as the Happy Hour Theater in 1929, but in 1930 had been renamed the Lyric Theater. It's got this very handsome, beautiful, neon, old-timey marquee up in the front of it. And in 1952 received a major renovation, which included a facelift and the marquee, along with its balcony, which I don't believe is there anymore. But in 1967, the final show that they showed was Beach Blanket Bingo. And after several owners in the late summer of 2016, the Lyric Theater was renovated and reopened its doors in 2017 for movies, live performances, and events. New owners took it over in 2020, and that's Miss Terry. And the Lyric Theater began another extensive renovation. And by 2022, it was screening classic and revival films. Like I said, the Lyric Theater, I just went and saw the Blues Brothers there. And by the way, that came from, what is this website? Cinema Treasures, that little bit of brief history. Cinema Treasures. We actually found the Lyric Theater on complete accident. Went and stayed at the historic Ollie Hotel, which is just behind. If you're into ghosts and things, check out the Ollie Hotel. But they did a special thing, and you went for Valentine's Day, and at the Ollie they gave you, champagne and whatever, and then you got to go see a movie and got to see Roman Holiday in this really cool old theater. I don't know exactly what the seating capacity is here. It doesn't show. Yeah, I'm not seeing exactly what the seating capacity is for the Lyric Theater. But yes, it was the Happy Hour Theater once upon a time, and you can see it on the side of the building. They've got great popcorn, candy, all that stuff. But you come in and you sit there and you get to watch these classic films on a big screen. And it's a really cool deal. And next door is an ice cream shop. Miss Terry owns the ice cream shop as well. And you can go in the back and get some of the best pizza, I think, in the state of Texas. I recommend the cheeseburger pizza. It's fantastic. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious. You don't believe me? Ask the dishes. Sorry, my Disney is bleeding over for those of you that are familiar with the Magic Q podcast. Shout out to the Magic Q. So, yeah, I just want to stress the importance of keeping places like the Lyric Theater open. Folks, if you're in the area, if you're in Texas, come to the Lyric Theater. Or if you have an old theater in your area that is showing second-run movies, you guys, it's one thing to sit and watch. All right, again, I bring up the Blues Brothers. I watched the Blues Brothers last week. I've seen the Blues Brothers a million times. I own it on DVD. In fact, I own the second one on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever it is. There is something about going and seeing films the way they were meant to be presented, and that's on the big screen. Let me see. Like I said, this weekend they ran Captain America, the First Avenger. They run all their movies at 7 o'clock. I'm trying to see if she has a schedule. I did appreciate she was showing old Looney Tune cartoons. They've shown the Minecraft movie in the past. Anyway, these films, Casablanca, they showed Casablanca a couple of weeks back, and that was a hoot. But yeah, these movies, to run these films, it's not cheap. Really, Miss Terry's out there doing this as a complete labor of love. She bought this building. She has the ice cream shop next door, and yeah, she just needs some help and support, and that's what I'm here trying to hopefully do. If you're in the San Antonio area, Flatonia is really not that far away. Sorry, I don't think anything's really that far away. But go on down there, check this out. If you're not in the San Antonio area, if you're not in Texas, if you're in St. Joseph, Missouri, the Trail Theater is doing the same thing. The Trail is a great, revival second run movie theater and music venue. If you have a band, again, if and you'd like to book them in just a venue to play in, yeah, the Lyric Theater in Flatonia is fantastic. In St. Joe, we had I remember the Plaza 8. Shout out to Josh Hall, the 8 movie theater for years and years and years, and that was our first run theater. And then they built the Regal Hollywood 10 out there, and then Josh took over the Plaza 8, and it was a second run movie theater. And I got to see the Lone Ranger there, and that was great. But one of my favorite moments and memories will probably be, sitting with my brother Cody and I, and we watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at Plaza 8, and we had a Ninja Turtle pizza party. I'm trying to get Miss Terry on board to do the Ninja Turtle pizza party, and if I know anybody that, are the Ninja Turtles or can get me in contact with the Ninja Turtles, please do that, and I will get with Miss Pat. Oh, that's something else. Harry Potter is the next film that's going to be shown, I believe, on Friday and Saturday of this upcoming week. So, Harry Potter, come out, dress in your costumes, be cosplayers, be, whatever. If I know any cosplayers that love to do Harry Potter, holler at me or hit up the Lyric Theater on there, and it could be a really fun thing. If, performers that like to show up and dress up and be like, come meet Harry Potter. I just really want to help this thing out. I want the Lyric Theater to thrive and survive. I want to see these classic films shown on the big screen as they were supposed to have been seen. Again, it's something crazy. As I was talking about the Ninja Turtles, it's like you notice little things that you may not notice, when you're watching it at home. I mean, granted, I have a 70 some odd inch screen right here, but there's just something and my wife will call it a purple step moment, but whatever. There's just something magical and something, just really cool about getting to sit and watch a movie as it is meant to be presented. So there you go. Shout out to the Lyric Theater right there. Shout out to the Trail Theater in St. Joseph if you haven't checked that out. Go check out the Trail. There you go. Hopefully, we'll do another broadcast at some point later in the week. I actually would like to do, we'll talk about this for a little bit. You can comment in the comment section down below, or this will be on Facebook or wherever. But 9/11 coming up this week. Actually, I'm going to be in the air on 9/11, which is kind of a weird feeling to me. But I'll share my 9/11 story, and I'd love to hear yours. And maybe if we can do another broadcast later on this week. I've got Julian Knopf Ramos, Knopf, of the Tall Can Listening Show. He's agreed to come on. He was going to come on last week, but he came down with some pneumonia, and anyway, apparently couldn't speak. So I understand how that is. Cough, 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 cough. So Knopf has agreed to come on the show. Maybe Knopf and I will sit and talk about this. But I remember 9/11, September 11th, 2001. I was sitting in school at the Eastside Baptist Academy underneath the Eastside Baptist Church in St. Joe, Missouri there. It was either I think it was a Spanish class, or we might have gone into history class. I don't remember. We all just kind of were in one room, and then a bell would ring and we'd go get another book. But we were there, and our teacher, principal, he was also one of the pastors, one of the pastor's sons. He was, Dave Lindsay was our teacher, and he was there, and his brother, Tim, was the youth pastor at the time, or associate pastor, I believe he was at this point. He came down the stairs and he said, hey, you guys are going to want to see what's going on the TV. And so they had cable hooked up, and I remember Dave turned on the big projector. We used to watch Miss Hicks for science class out of Florida for a deal, and then we'd have the projector going for like science class, or not science, but Spanish class. And like I said, history class, we watched The Patriot. Anyway, So we turned it on and we watched the whole thing unfold. The first plane had already hit, and then we watched as the second plane hit, and then all the aftermath after that. And I always say it brought that group together a lot more. We all like have a special bond, I suppose, with that small group right there. It was, it was tough day for a lot of people. And I remember mom picking me up, and I remember the gas panic, the gasoline panic. Everybody was freaking out about that. Yeah. So just a wild day. And then the days afterwards where there were no planes or anything, and like America was really just, I say with my Canadian shirt on, but I've never been more proud to be an American than I was during that time. Sometimes I would never want a terrorist attack like that to ever happen again, but to see everybody come together, there wasn't any black or white or Hispanic or, we were all Americans. We were all united on one front. We weren't arguing over, what Donald Trump did on TV the other day. Not that I want to get political in the least bit, but it was just the feeling afterward of true patriotism was something crazy and something that, it's just wild to go back and think about that. But that happened, 24 years ago now. So 2025, that was 2001. Yeah, so 24 years. So maybe if I can get Knopf to come on, we'll see what happens. But keep that in mind. Knopf Ramos is coming on. We're excited to have Knopf from Talk and Listening come on. For those of you that don't know, Knopf probably didn't even realize this, but he is kind of an inspiration behind this show and what goes on. Granted, our two shows are something completely different. His show is a lot more entertaining than mine, I will say that. But no, I drew inspiration from that and just kind of roll with it. And I will say that his show is a lot better than the Countdown City Wrestlecast, because at least Knopf knows what's going on, and they can make all the excuses in the world about how, well, we go live and we this and we that. And it's like, well, but you don't know your stuff when you come on. I mean, if you wanted no research and no education and no information, you can watch my show. And that's also what you get for not having me on. I know you had Pink on, so there you go. Talk and Listening, #1 show, podcast in Texas wrestling as far as that goes. My show isn't a wrestling podcast necessarily, even though, yes, I started off the top of the show talking about RCW, and you can see down here in the bottom, I am the RCW men's general manager. I've been commentator for RCW, and I've been a manager within RCW, again, managing 3 years international champion Anthony Andrews, and of course, Mysterious Q, RCW champion. And I am the forever, it looks like, manager of the year. And why do I say I'm the forever undisputed manager of the year? Well, because if you will remember, I won that sucker 2 years in a row. Despite everybody trying to pull out everything they possibly could to try and keep me from winning this thing, I still won it. And then they decided, you know what? He'll never not win now, so I guess we'll just fold this whole thing up and poof, gone. There it is. So I am your forever Texas wrestling manager of the year. And then because of my influence, people won referee of the year, despite news to the contrary that they helped me win manager of the year. I helped somebody win manager of the year, promotion of the year, ring announcer of the year, all because I jumped on and said probably tag team of the year. They got close. But just because I said, hey, no, you have to vote for these people too. Okay, cool. Just got to throw that out there. Every opportunity I get, I have to remind people. Logan Pettis is the guy that makes things happen. So, there you go. That's what we're on about. Knopf Ramos going to come on the show. Christopher Alexander, I have talked to. Christopher Alexander is the pianist for the New Generation Singers, a group near and dear to my heart. He is a composer and a teacher. We're going to try and have him on here soon. Hopefully, I'm still trying to get Heather Sneathan to come back onto the show because I want to talk to her about some things. And then, always a delight, Raina Pink has said that she wants to come on the show, and she's got a couple of things. She's asked if she can come on and talk about those, and I said, yeah, sure, why not? And so maybe she'll give us some more insight into what is going on in the RCW women's division. So, folks, for the show, we're about to hit about 30 minutes. Nice little short show. I will have, again, Zactionary play us out. Check out Zactionary on Spotify, YouTube. Check out the song is called The Boss of the Ring. And I'm the GM. There's no one greater. Texas crown on my head forever. Got the rule book in my hand, but somehow you still vilify me, folks. Let me tell you, it's hard to be a general manager. You know, I come out 52 weeks out of the year. I'm constantly thinking about new things to do with RCW and bringing you new things and new matches and new people coming in. And it's just, it's a thankless job, you know. When things go wrong, yeah, people like Big Mike over there at Countdown City are real quick to jump on and have to tell me how I did something wrong, and how I've failed upwards and whatever other smart-ass comment that he has, completely irrelevant because I've brought several years worth of entertainment to RCW. Alberto Del Rio, bang! That was me. All the stuff that's happened, shoot, I could go on, but then I'll just be a big whiner and a complainer like the rest of you RCW fans are. So, with that said, I'm Logan Pettis. This has been the Logan Pettis Show. Stay tuned for the next episode. Hopefully, we'll see. It's a lottery. Knopf? Will it be Chris? Will it be Heather Sneathan? Will it be Rada Pink? I don't know who I'll have on this show with me next time. It could be somebody completely different. It could be, maybe we'll reach out to Weekly Thorn. I don't know. And get a status update on when she'll be back in the ring, folks. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring on Casey Blackrose. You never know. That's the best part about the Logan Pettis Show, is just like Logan Pettis. It's unplanned, uneducated, unscripted. You just don't know what's going to happen on the Logan Pettis Show. And with that, I'm out, folks. We will see you on the other side.